meeting to order. Regular board meeting, Monday, April 15th, 2024. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, Mr. Sterling.
Here.
Mr. Thompson.
Here.
Mr. McKnight.
Present.
Ms. Carlson. Here. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Ms. Hastings. Here.
And with that,
Chris Arduino, recording secretary.
Terrell Yarbrough, Superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle Erb, Curriculum and Instruction.
Josh Shran, Business and Operations.
Jason Bloom, Communications and Community Relations.
all right, Jason.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. So tonight, it is our pleasure to welcome some friends from McChesney Retreat. Nice. Them come out. They're super excited.
4 through 6. Big kids.
So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Edwards. She's going to talk about this group that we have in front of us. We've got a special young group of kids here.
Well, thank you very much for having us here this evening. We have our 6th grade fine arts students. Obviously, this is not our whole class. This is just some of our students that volunteered to help out at our fine arts auditions, which was April 4th and April 6th. So April 4th was between 3:30 and 6:30. And Saturday, April 6th was 9 to noon, so they had to get up a little early as well. They were essentially camp counselors. They had groups of either 2nd graders or 3rd graders. And Thursday, we had some groups up to 17 students. So we paired off 2, possibly 3 students per group, and they were their guide. They went to different rotations, but they also had to entertain them in the down times. And so some of our groups, everybody on Thursday had to take 1 break from the rotations to fit everybody in. And one group had 2 breaks. Who was that? How was that? It was a little hard, and I do believe they had 2nd graders as well that first day. So about 17 2nd graders, and trying to corral them when they had all this exciting energy to be there. So they used some great skills. So not only volunteering at a very young age, but they're also have leadership skills that they were able to start to share. Mrs. Lewis, is she here tonight? I'm not sure if she is. She's our 6th grade fine arts teacher, and she actually sent the message out and got the students to volunteer, got them excited. She kept them from after school at 2:25 until about 3 and housed them and talked to them, talked about their anxieties or whatever. This group of students did not do in-person auditions. It was during COVID, and they actually did online auditions, so they had never experienced this before, and they were doing it on the other end, other than Hunter. He did because he's new to our program, and Olivia, they're new to our program this year, so they got to do live auditions last year. Everybody else did video. So, and a band, thank you, I'm so sorry. So most of them had never done that, and so they were a little nervous as well with our kids. But then they could share their experiences and what they've learned through the 1, 2, or 3 years that they've been with us. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and then we'll start with the pledge.
My name's Elena.
My name's Delilah.
My name's Dessa.
My name's Hunter.
My name's Ryan. My name's Callie.
My name's Lena.
My name's Madison.
My name's Olivia.
My name's Ophea.
Okay, nice job. So if everybody would please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, practice, we're going to talk about this. So, we're going to have them turn around, board if you're going to come around. We might actually have to bunch this.
two vines. Yeah, two vines.
This way? Okay.
And I will get a photo of
Did you see the rules for Jake Paul fight?
You too?
You can't win. The farther you go, the more you get paid.
One second. Parents and guardians, I'll get our order. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Move on. There you go.
Good job.
I have one more.
Thank you.
All right.
My son was there on Thursday. Yeah, I think the second grade.
Thank you.
Oh, I bet they were. Third grade.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure everybody's giving them.
You too. Tell it was the fine arts kids. They're like,
None of them were shy because they have to get on stage. It's part of the
That's right.
requirement of being.
that's what I'm saying, like you could tell, they were
Yeah.
like, do, 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 do.
Yep.
Hey, Jason.
Perfect. You have to sing in front of a bunch of people for auditions. and-
I need a motion to appoint Secretary Pro Tem Megan Hastings.
Oh, yeah.
Motion.
Second?
So-
What is who? I mean,
Kurt was
first,
motion.
second.
Motion second.
Okay.
All right,
Take your pick.
they did the,
Just trying to move it along.
all right, Mr. Thompson,
Aye.
Mr. McKnight,
Aye.
Ms. Carlson. Aye. Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye, Mr. Sterling.
All right. Did you,
Yes, I would like to see if we can table the COTW plan until next month or later, just for discussion as times and dates and such as that,
discussion?
if that's possible. There's a lot of different
The
times
committee of the whole
on it.
for-
If we table it, what does that look like for, like, cause it was gonna go into effect in July?
July. So we'd obviously, there would still be time to discuss it.
Okay.
The only effect it would change for today, if we do table it, would be then accepting the new committee or committee's agenda. All right, so with that, what's the consensus to take that or off the agenda? Or
But it doesn't matter to me. I didn't even get to what Evelyn's thoughts were on it, so I think without her being here to have that discussion. I don't know what her thoughts are on it,
Okay. So that-
so I'm okay with it.
Okay, there's one.
So if we were gonna do it in July, do we really wanna do it in August then, because where things are really hitting? Does it,
No, it'd take effect.
We're talking about the committee.
Voting on it, right?
No.
I want to say, but if we take a little, okay, so voting in May, but we still want it to take effect in July, just add a discussion?
I know, but-
Okay.
But that's,
I would say pushing it
that's
back
fine.
at all would be, where I would have an issue.
Oh,
I don't want to discuss that, it's fine,
Yeah.
as long as we don't, if we're gonna do it, we have to do it in July.
no, I understand that, so,
Yeah.
but this,
Yeah.
the only comment here is to take it off the agenda, to discuss it, to put it on the next agenda?
I don't think so.
For the May.
I have no problem with that, no.
What?
What,
I don't think you can.
We're doing our annual items, which setting those meeting dates is a part of all of that.
For the organization.
So we only have our meetings through June
correct.
that are on the calendar. So the purpose of doing it this early is in order to get the other meetings on the calendar so everybody knows.
Correct, but we would still have time
approve
if
it.
we do it in
April 29th.
Is there a
we have
reason we want
meeting.
it?
by the April 29th
Yeah.
meeting.
I was just, I
End of the
don't know what.
Oh,
Evelyn's
just for
thoughts are.
Evelyn's
I
thought?
don't know what her thoughts are on it, I don't know.
Correct, so all we're discussing, so we either discuss it later into this meeting and then discuss it, or we move it to the 29th, April 29th meeting to have.
I don't care either way.
Is there something specific that we need answers on so that we can
Right.
prepare?
Is it just Evelyn's opinion?
Well, my questions
I don't think
were
we have
the
to set
dates
that.
and times, because all of the times are slightly off difference, and then could it be made later, could it, and of course, we don't know the dates. I mean, the dates are fine the way they are, but my concern was just the timeline, if it could be made later in the day, you know, so that people who are working could show up at 5 o'clock, 5:30. and work a little
Yeah, the
bit.
4:30 is a little tough for me.
Yeah, well, it's tough for most working people, so, that was it.
No, I get you, so
Um,
we have two options, we can either table it, or we can move that to the discussion later in the agenda and still have that conversation. At that time, with discussion, we can still table it or go through. So my question is, do you guys want to keep it on this agenda and still discuss it later in this agenda? And then if we decide after tabling it or not tabling it, we can always move it. All right, so then we can keep it on the agenda, we'll discuss it at that time, and then if we need to, we can move it to the next meeting. That way you can get those answers.
Yep.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Turn over to Dr.
All right,
Turn it over.
thank you. As we do every meeting, our mission statement, the mission of the Harlem Consolidated School District is a vital part of the community, is to help diverse learners realize their unlimited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and the development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve board meeting minutes, March 11th, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Please move.
All right. Good evening again. So we'll grab our first group.
We never know who's gonna come.
Yeah, he keeps them out in the hallway, isn't that fun?
All right. So this evening, it is my pleasure. We've got a few groups of kids to recognize. First and foremost being our middle school dance team. So this group of people actually had a lot of success a few months ago, but as board meetings work out, we're a little behind. But back in January, they qualified to compete at the IDTA state competition, where they believe they placed 8th in the state, which is an amazing feat. And so I don't know a whole lot about dance competition stuff, so I'm going to turn over to the coach and let her talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to introduce the girls here.
First of all, I want to say thank you for letting us be here tonight, kind of share our success. These girls have worked really hard this past season on competing. They actually placed first at their 2 regional competitions, which got them their bid to state. And then there were many teams competing all over the state of Illinois, and they actually placed 8th, which is an amazing feat. And not only while they were working on their competition, they were also performing at their homeschool basketball games. So kind of juggling those 2 tasks. So we just have a few of them tonight. There's a couple girls that are missing, they couldn't make it. So I will let these girls introduce themselves to you.
Hi, my name is Ayla Frederick, and I'm in 7th grade. I'm Keegan Kilmer, and I'm in 8th grade. My name is Maddie Jacobson, and I'm in 8th grade. I'm Colby Shields, and I'm in 7th grade. I'm Bryn Primith, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Harley Raby, I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Katie Hall, and I'm in 8th grade.
Well, on behalf of obviously the board and our schools and our community, we're very proud of you and congratulations on an awesome season. We look forward to seeing some of you maybe back here next year for middle school, but some of you maybe with the high school group that's coming up next. So congratulations on a great season. We're so proud of you. This is really It's going to get like trophies that just made my certificate.
Yeah, trophies are taller than
Making sure that my computer doesn't
Bounce out on you.
Yeah, you might have to, you might have to be a little bit
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Photos behind me here, these are all the way. Awesome.
Great job, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So our second group this evening is our high school varsity dance team. So obviously what we just saw is the feeding program that works their way up to this level, which again, now we're seeing this traditional success because I know there's coaches with familiar face and there's some familiar faces amongst these kids that have been here at board meetings before, which means that they're continuing to do some great things. And so this is your NIC-10 Conference Champs. I meant to say that at the beginning because that was way cooler. NIC-10 Conference Champs varsity dance team who also competed at the state competition. And so we're super excited. We have Coach Summer here that is going to talk a little bit about the season, and then we'll obviously hear from the girls here too. So.
Hi, thank you for having us. So this year we had a team of 12, I believe. We're missing a couple. And then we are conference champs. We were, came in second last year, the year before, got our title back this year. We came in second at sectionals last year, and we held that top 3 spot by coming in third this year, which is huge. Those are the best 2 places we've ever come in at sectionals over the last couple of years. We got to state, we came in 20th and improved our standings by about 8 places. So we're kind of creeping up the IHSA state ladder, which is kind of hard to do. So we're making a name for ourselves, and we're creeping. It's taking us a minute, but we're getting there. And our name is getting thrown around and being well known as being a serious team that dances well. So we have 5 kids who made the all-conference first team. We have Bella Berger, step forwards, and Natalie Kilmer. And we have Zoe Shields, she's also our conference MVP. And then we have Kaylee Jacobson, and we also have Skylar Radonis, she's not here today. And then Sunny Shields is our special mention second team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a group that obviously has done really well. We will introduce them in a second, let them introduce themselves. But I do know, and I don't know a lot about the story, but I know that you were within a few points of really being the top 10 or top 12, I think, right?
We missed it by, I think it was maybe like 2.5 or 3 points, making it to day 2, which is not a ton, but a ton. So when it comes down to tenths of points to be the winner sometimes. So we're getting there.
Absolutely. And then I don't remember how many years you've been in this.
This will be year 15 that I've been here.
Yeah.
I think I might be one of the longest standing coaches at the moment.
That again, obviously kudos to her for the commitment and dedication, but as part of, as we know, of building a program, it really takes that commitment and tenure to occur, and so a big thank you to Coach as well for her commitment and that longevity, because that's showing up as we see these groups competing at a high level year in and year out. And so with that though, because they don't want to hear me talk, we're going to introduce you, say your name, I know we already heard your name, but say your name and what grade you're in.
I'm Sunny Shields and I'm a freshman. I'm Kayla Jacobson and I'm a senior. I'm Zoe Shields and I'm a senior. I'm Avery Klein and I'm a freshman. I'm Emma Wigginton and I'm a freshman. I'm Ava Wilson and I'm a freshman. I'm Haley Swanson and I'm a junior. I'm Elise Swanson and I'm a freshman. I'm Haley Musgrave and I'm a freshman. I'm Natalie Kilmer, I'm a sophomore. I'm Bella Berger and I'm a senior.
Well, so on behalf of the board, I'm excited because, not for our seniors, they're leaving us, but because we've got a lot of people that we're going to see next year here. But congratulations to you guys. We're so proud of you, and we wish you the best, our seniors, and we look forward to seeing our juniors, sophomores, and freshmen back here next year. Congratulations. To the middle somehow. So you can take it? All right.
If it doesn't my way, I'm sure it's in Terrell's way.
You guys want to be on the end?
They have to do a little bit of that.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to, yeah.
I think I got it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got one more.
It's easier to walk in.
All right, so we have one more recognition this evening. This is kind of a little bit of actually a different one for us, which is kind of cool. Ms. Kaczynski, our principal at Windsor Elementary, had reached out, and she wanted to take a moment to recognize and honor a few individuals that have really done a lot of great things at Windsor Elementary. I don't want to steal her thunder with this, but she's got some people that she really wants to take the moment for us as a district an admin team, as well as our board, to meet and to hear about and to recognize and thank for their commitment to Windsor Elementary, because I know some of the stuff that they're doing, and they really have kind of evolved as this PTO group that's, like I said, really doing great things for our staff and our students at Windsor Elementary. So I'm gonna turn it over, because I got some cool stuff that they're gonna say and hand out, way better than my certificate.
Thank you for having us. I wanted to introduce these three ladies who have been phenomenal to not only Windsor, but to our community as a whole in regards to Windsor and Harlem. Michelle Bernard, Heather Sharp, and Alyssa Groh. All three of these ladies are Harlem graduates themselves, so still giving back to the community and have chosen to stay here and raise their children. So when I started last year as the principal at Windsor, both Michelle and Heather jumped right in as I was trying to build the PTO and have been hands-on ever since, and Alyssa joined us this year. They have done incredible things, far more than I could ever imagine doing because of the time that it takes. They have raised over $11,000 for our school, and every single dollar goes back to our students, our families, and our staff. That includes what we just had, our principal pizza lunch over at Windsor Pizza Parlor, where we got to take our top fundraising earners over there for lunch last week and this week. They give back to our staff through staff appreciation. They donate prizes and gift cards to our One School, One Book. We just started having, or discussing like a staff request survey, so if staff needs any items or they're looking for a 5th grade, teachers are looking for pizza donation money for the graduation party that they're planning the end of this year that the PTO is going to sponsor. And they give it all back primarily at our end of the year celebration by paying for our dunk tank and all the foods and treats and vendors that we have come out. I'm just incredibly grateful for them, because there is no way that I would be able to do all of what they have done. The organization of fundraisers, communicating with our staff, our community. They've done a lot of outreach with the community, and so I just wanted to take a moment to tell them thank you. I appreciate you, Ms. Marinelli appreciates you, and I know that our students, our staff, and our community greatly appreciate all that you guys have done. So, for that, we wrote you each a little thank you letter to remind yourselves of all the things that you have done great for Windsor. And we also bought you a custom Windsor PTO crew shirt, so you can flaunt around the building. So, thank you, ladies. I appreciate you, and I hope you stay with us for a very long time to come and keep doing all that you're doing. Thank you. Yes.
One more photo. So we're gonna do a photo again, of course. We're gonna I'm sure somebody wants to do that.
Oh, look at that. You can share it.
Certificate will last longer than the t-shirt.
I did not. I have an alarm on my
I
phone.
go short side. We'll sneak in here.
Go back to slide. Yep, thank you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The parents always take pictures of the kids with the kids. Take pictures
With the shirts.
Yes, do we get to see the shirts?
What does it look like?
Thank you, guys.
Do we get to see the?
Oh,
You get to see the shirts?
Oh, very nice. Nice.
That's cool.
Awesome, thank you.
I even heard about you guys from even going to Meyer. They were talking about the turkey bingos and all that stuff, so they'd stop and say, Windsor's killing it, so you guys are.
Yeah, thank you. And we appreciate your donations as well, so thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have no comments from the community?
None.
Okay. Moving it over to Josh.
All right.
I got my water, ready?
The total payables this period were $3,227,538.76. There were void checks of $2,528.29. There were three payrolls this period in the amount of $10,298,282.31 for total expenditures of $13,525,821.07. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $10,638,685.43. The operations and maintenance fund paid $569,087.73. The debt service fund paid $550. The transportation fund paid $657,205.15. The IMRF Social Security Fund paid $354,275.86. The Capital Projects Fund paid $1,280,752.47. And the Life Safety Fund paid $25,264.43. Again, for total expenditures of $13,525,821.07. Are there any unanswered questions?
There was one, Josh, on page 42 of the April 9th, I believe. I assume it's just a misprint, the Ringland Johnson. It said, the check total was $171,600, and it says that the one invoice says $1 million.
It cuts the one off, so I'll have to look at the page
Okay.
on the summary of Ringland. So anything with the million, it's gonna lop that first digit
Yeah,
off
okay.
typically.
So it is just a.
Yeah,
Good.
that will probably happen every time there's over $1 million.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good call on everything you see that's weird though.
Well, I'm thinking $1 million bucks.
Elementary schools too.
Yeah.
Motion to accept the bills.
Motion.
Second.
All right, Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
All right, moving on to communications and committee reports. The next Equity and Social Justice meeting will be April 25th, 2024 at 4:30 PM, the Harlem Admin Center. With that, turning it over to Aaron McKnight.
Oh yeah, the one time I get to go first, I don't have a lot to say. It's always that case. No. You know, actually, all this, everything that right there, that all hits home with me, and I'll kind of like thank you to the fine arts. Those students are amazing. Both my children went through, and I believe one of them, if not both of them, were involved in auditions for the younger kids. They're older now, so I forget. But wonderful program. I'm really glad everything's going well there. And as far as the dance programs, well, as Trell knows what a dance competition's like, so do I. And they're long, really long. But it just shows, like, you know, these ladies, I'm saying ladies because I think they're all ladies, but these ladies, I mean, they work hard. Dance is a very, 3 points is a mile. Like, it really is when it comes in the scheme of things. So, but what I'm saying is they did really, really good, and it's only up from here. So, other than that, I really don't have a whole lot. I was just overwhelmed by all this stuff. It's like they called a meeting put people in there that I know what they were talking about. So, for time's sake, we got a lot of stuff to do.
Okay. I didn't know if you were done. Ms. Rebecca Carlson.
Thank you. I just had one comment, and I wanted to address it to the community specifically, and also the employees of the district. I've had a lot of information recently, but I just wanted to say to everyone, if there's any kind of concerns of any kind, let us know. Because I know, talk to me, talk to the whole board, talk to your superintendent, talk to your administrators. It's wonderful to hear great things and bad things as well that we can try to fix and put things together. But it'd be great to hear comments of all kinds of whatever you like, whatever you dislike, and anything in between. I know there's some that love the CTE and some that hate the lunch menu, and there's all kinds of different things. So
Kids.
I know,
Yeah, kids.
right?
Every kid is
Even
emailing right
then,
now.
you're a part of the school district too, so yeah, even one of the students that want to speak up. But it's nice to hear what's going on in the district, and I know there are some employees who aren't part of the community, so we'd love to hear from them too. So that's, I know I would love to hear it, so that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Mr. Larry Smith?
I was just noticing the beautiful art.
Yeah.
There's a fine arts kind of theme tonight with the people from Fine Arts from McChesney coming in to lead us in the pledge. They did a terrific job, and we greatly appreciate that. The beautiful art that's on the wall, I know that comes from the high school. We have some wonderful art teachers, they always do such a good job. And then, of course, our dancers who came in and visited, congratulations to them. I think we all should dance more.
You start.
We lead by example, Larry.
Absolutely.
The floor is literally yours.
Absolutely, we all should dance more, and we also should attend the education committee more, and we have an opportunity to do that on April 23rd, which by my reckoning is approximately 8 days away. So put it on your calendar, come on out, it's 4:30 right here, and I'm sure it will just be a wonderful experience for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Megan Hastings.
I don't have a list tonight, but I think there's definitely a common theme from what's been popping up lately, and it's community. And community is super duper important to me. I always say it's what's gonna save us in the end. But not only do I think our students and our staff and our teachers are harnessing just an incredible community locally, like Harlem centered. They're really going out of our community and doing some great things. You know, to Larry's point, looking at the art on the wall, there's some ribbons on it for the Young Artist Show. The dance coach shared that, you know, folks are now sharing Harlem's name. We had 2 students show at the Beloit Film Festival. We had a middle school student get recognized on the robotics team. Like, it's amazing to see all our students and staff and teachers going out and really kind of bringing Harlem with them and then bringing Harlem back. It's really incredible. So keep up the communal thinking. Next policy meeting is April 22nd, 4:30 here.
Thank you. Well, I will follow your lead with the communal thing of recognizing the great work that's going on by members of our community to do the PTO, to do the different fundraising that goes above and beyond.
That was amazing.
I mean, 11,000, that's awesome.
Incredible.
And I mean, I'm not kidding, when I was stopped at Meyer and they were talking about like the bingo giveaway, they're like, I got a turkey, and I was like, okay, and then I won another one, I was like, okay, wow, like, they were giving out some stuff. But it takes a lot of work, and it's a lot of extra work, and it's 99.9% of the time, it's a thankless thing, and they're doing it out of the greatness of their heart, so thank you. It's not just to them, but to all the PTOs that are out there going above and beyond and doing the things that we need in this community. I mean, they're on the front lines with the kids and the teachers right there. So, I mean, it starts at the PTO and works its way up, so thank them.
There's a correction. The next board meeting is April 29th. I just noticed it.
Oh, yeah, not me.
Okay. You know, I'll Ron Burgundy that. The next regular board meeting is April 29th, 2024 at 6 p.m. I will have a recommendation at this time to approve the committee of the whole, but we'll be discussing that and the group will have that talk. If not, then we'll discuss the new committee structures for going forward from July 2024. With that, I turn it over to Clerk Thompson.
Hey, going last, lots of good reports and coverage. Glad to see the 6th graders and the initiative it takes to not only be part of fine arts, but then to volunteer their time to then handle second graders, which is not far in number, but can be a challenge. But again, I've had the pleasure of 2 of my daughters going through the program. It's an amazing, excellent program. My son might have been there as well, and certainly was not challenging, I'm sure. But again, so glad to see them come in, do the pledge, and take that initiative to really start volunteering early, because obviously, as we've seen with the other PTO, there's so much rewards and returns from volunteering for this community. I think we covered quite a bit there. I didn't hear it or one or the other, but congratulations to Mrs. Anderson. It was before spring break, so technically that's a million years ago, for winning the Golden Apple for principal this year. So looking forward to celebrating her. That is a huge accomplishment. And we've had another one, was Windsor before that, and now Parker Center. So a tradition of fantastic, they're all fantastic, but I'd like to hear when they get some acknowledgement that way as well. And then lastly, congratulations to all the students that took the SATs and is it PSATs as well, for doing that in all digital and the good results of that. So I think that's everything other than what you guys have covered. So that being said, I buried the lead because we have a business services meeting coming up here on May 8th, 2024, 5:30. If you want to hear some real work, Josh has got you covered, and if you think that's a joke, you have not seen the agenda for today, which is majority his. So with that, we'll get on with the rest of the meeting. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir. All right, Dr. Tillard?
Thank you. I have 2 travel requests. The first one, we had a group of students who came to a board meeting and shared that they qualified for the nationals for our Educator Rising National Conference. So the one travel is that. It occurs in June and leaving on the 27th and coming back July 2nd. And my second travel is bowling. I bring it every year. We've been very fortunate to have such a great bowling team. And nationals this year is in Pennsylvania. And so that's my second travel, the overnight travel. Any questions?
No, nothing.
All right, well then that ends my report.
Thank you for making the Educators Rising happen.
Yeah. How many students?
For the Educator Rising, 2.
2, yeah.
2 students, and then they'll have the 2 advisors who will attend with them.
That's what I was looking at, okay. Thank you. All right. I got you going right away. That's right.
All right. I have a few items this evening. My first item is a recommendation to approve a resolution declaring surplus property for the high school, middle school, Parker Center, Ralston, and the Administration Center. Next is a recommendation to accept the February 2024 Treasury Report. And just a note, we go through that some more in depth of Treasury Services, all the highlights.
Join us.
Any questions on the Treasury Report? Okay. Next is a recommendation to award the bakery bid to Alpha Baking Company for the 24-25 school year, at an estimated cost of $43,250.91.
That's a lot of bread.
Hinged.
You've been holding that, haven't you?
Oh, he's been waiting.
That's true.
Sorry, how many did we get for that?
Just one.
All right, that was my one question.
This is our current company too.
Yeah, no, I know, but there's a couple now. I was just wondering, but Larry threw me off with that.
But it was local. The company that was what? You said that the company used to be here and was potentially purchased, but it's coming from Rockford?
Canada Gold used to be here. We've had Alpha for a while, so.
Okay.
I mean, if there's others that you would like to in the future, let me know and we can
There's
send them
Alpha,
bid
there's
back.
Toronto, I just want to make sure that more.
Oh, yeah, you would know that, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can
Y'all
send
bring
it
something
up.
else to the table.
Yeah. In this case, bread.
No worries, because it is a lot of bread.
I can't wait for the milk joke. Are we good at the bread?
Yeah, we can.
I think we spent too much time on it already.
So, next is recommendation to award the milk bid for the 24-25 school year to Prairie Farms at an estimated cost of $220,039.30. Any questions on the milk? Okay. Next is a recommendation to renew the bus washing agreement with Jared's Power Washing for FY25 school year at a cost of $20 per vehicle. That is an increase of 25 cents a vehicle. So we will have less vehicles because Don's been efficient at selling those. So this overall cost will go down, but it was just fractions, like 1% increase. It was pretty low. Any questions on that? Okay. Next is a recommendation to award a high school carpet replacement bid to Benchmark Flooring, Inc. in the amount of $102,295. This amount was in our budget, and this is part of our plan to just keep replacing or removing carpet from classrooms and buildings. So we have a little bit of Parker Center left, a bunch of classrooms at the high school, and then someday this carpet here.
You said how old was it in high school? 20-some years?
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for perspective, if you weren't.
That carpet could talk.
Yeah.
I mean, it might actually be able to talk.
So that is slightly under what we had in the budget too, so that was a good first swing at that. And then once, these are kind of unique areas, so after that, it'll be easier to get classrooms, so.
Is there a reason, Josh, that they don't go back to the old-fashioned tile that used to be in every school everywhere?
So this will be tile. We don't really put carpet back. There are a couple areas here, band and choir, that the lower level will be carpet squares because of the sound.
Right.
But everyone else will be a tile.
Oh, good.
Yep. Good. Next is a recommendation to award a Harlem High School re-roofing project bid to McDermott Roofing in the amount of $239,777. Luckily, we did have 5 bids on that one, I think the count was. And McDermott, we worked with McDermott quite a bit. Both of the areas that we had discussed previously are still leaking, so this will be good fix in this area.
No more rust on the beams.
No more rust on
And the beam came back good though.
I know.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, not everyone was at business services, so the beam sand cleaning and testing was good news for us.
We don't have to replace
If it wasn't, it was a $1 million replacement, yeah.
But so we got these roofs here, so.
Yeah.
We good on that?
Let's take some positives.
All right, yes. Next is a recommendation to approve agreement with Permar to update the monitoring system at Harlem High School for a total cost of $33,444.06, paid with Title IV funds. So this is covering some of the new contact doors in CTE, but updating the brains of the entire building to give us a smarter system and an up-to-date system.
I thought the CTE building was on fire. That's what you
Yeah.
Well, to that point, like this will help with those notifications too, so.
Yeah, no, it'll give you better to get.
False alarm.
Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Midwest Events for rental of exhibitor booths for the career fair at Harlem High School on April 23rd, 2024, at a total cost of $3,741.60, paid with Title IV funds, and $650 paid with local funds for a total cost of $4,391.60. We can't pay for the food with the title funds, which is why we're paying for it with district funds. There's a memo from Patty Lawrence and Dr. Erb attached. Any questions on it?
No? Great opportunity.
Next is recommendation to approve paying students for internships, and there's a memo from Patty Lawrence, Shana Lenga, and Dr. Erb again. We talked to business services, answering some of those questions that had popped up last time, because this came, there were questions, business services, we pulled it and brought it back. I don't know if we answered all the questions, or if you guys have any other remaining questions.
I know a lot of those came from you, Mike. Did you catch up with all the feedback?
Just as long as our questions get concerned over the.
Yeah, handling of unemployment, and
Mhm.
not only was it covered,
all that stuff.
workman's comp, it was all answered, plus additional verbiage was put into.
I just want to make sure that those.
We are covered.
Yes.
That's all.
But when you ask and they're like, I don't know, let me get back to you, I'm like, yeah, that's.
Well, they got back to us.
Yeah.
We're covered.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's-
there was
I
a
mean-
lot of diligence to get answers to our questions, which was appreciated.
No, I know, and you guys got the answers and they're in here and now we know them, so I'm good.
Yeah. Some great opportunities there too.
Next is a recommendation to approve a restructured job description for help desk support technician. We had a retirement in the tech department, which was a support specialist, in talking with Aaron about what would be the best way to utilize that position. He came up with a support technician, which can help address calls as they come in rather than just rerouting, be an actual support tech. So this won't cost any more money than what we had spent previously. It's just, it's going to an at-will position as part of the tech department.
Okay, so it's just changing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Not just a dispatch. Because before it was almost like a dispatch
Yeah.
position, right? Yeah, so he'll be able to troubleshoot, he or she'll be able to troubleshoot.
Turn it off and then turn it back on again?
Did you power cycle your device?
Do you have your device?
Is it plugged in?
Next is a recommendation, to approve contract renewal of Brex Database Solutions, Inc. for Embrace IEP and 504 platforms with website access for $17,963.60 for the FY25 school year, funded by IDEA Flow-Through Part B grant. Any questions on that? Next is a recommendation to approve a contract renewal with Northwestern Illinois Association, or NIA, for needs assessment at a cost of $592,518 for the FY25 school year, funded by IDEA Part B flow-through grant. So this it has a few less days of service in it. The overall cost is down just under $10,000. If we had the same number of days, the OTPT cost was a 1.43% increase, so that was pretty reasonable, but that will drop almost 10,000. Okay, next is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Speech Horizons, Inc. to provide private and parochial speech and language services for $100 per hour for 37 weeks at 24 hours per week for the FY25 school year at a total cost of $88,800, funded by IDEA Flow-Through Part B grant and Pre-K IDEA grant. So again, this is for speech and language for our privates and parochials. This individual has been working for us for many years, and that rate has stayed the same, and it's covered by the grant. So, any questions? Next is a recommendation to approve a contract renewal with Sunbelt Staffing or VocoVision for two school psychologists, I'm gonna mess that one up. Psych services for 37.5 hours per week for 38 weeks at a total cost of $306,930.75 for the FY25 school year, funded by the IDEA Flow-Through Part B grant. And these are just because we can't find enough school psychs.
But we are looking, right, to,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every year?
And there was the call out within the program of where we're working on the education to
Right,
then
we have
eventually
two
bring
of
some
them.
in higher.
We have two of the psych, or two individuals that are in the psych program that we hope to be able to take on as our own staff then.
Yeah, keep on that.
And Shelley, you probably answered this question a million times, but the exit survey is for everybody, right? So
Yes.
we're getting the psychs too? Okay, thanks.
They don't have to do it. We can't force
Yeah,
them.
it's not required, but it's
Yeah.
offered. Thank you.
Maybe through business services, we can offer them a gift card.
You can beg them greatly, maybe get a dunk tank.
Hey, if you can squeeze the money out of Josh, well, I'm in.
His face just got red.
Sorry, Josh.
Any other questions on that?
Getting deep in here.
All right, next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Fastbridge Illuminate Education for a one-year subscription at a cost of $8,736, funded again by IDEA Flow-Through Part B grant. This is for monitoring our MTSS students. Any questions? Okay. My last item, and Mike, you'll love this one, is a recommendation to approve a resolution authorizing Attorney Amy Silvestri to intervene in property tax appeal number 2023-03935 for PIN number 08-29-378-004 for the 2023 year. If that sounded familiar to you, Mike, that's because we've already approved this, but we were appealing the decision to PTAB. Since then, Schnucks has appealed, so this is just rewording it that we're defending Schnucks now. So.
Okay, I will say it again.
I think it's the last one for a while. So if there are no questions on that, that is my report this evening.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Shelley Wagner.
Hi, okay. This This evening I have the recommendation to approve the personnel agenda and addendum, including resignations. We have 17 employments this period, 12 transfers, 4 leave of absence requests, 2 Federation Bank requests, and 17 resignations. We also have a recommendation to reduce full-time substitutes for the 2024 to 2025 school year from originally 26 down to 11 this upcoming school year. The reason for this is that the ESSER funding has come to an end. This is how we were paying for those full-time subs. And back to Josh, but Josh, this time I'm complimenting you greatly. He worked really, really hard on being able to get this done so we can provide at least one full-time sub in every building. And I'd like to say thank you for working with me on this, because it was really important to our building administrators to make this happen, and we were able to. So, very happy to bring this recommendation to bring 11 back. And that's it for me. Does anyone have any questions?
I wanted to clarify about the co-coach, Dwayne Milton, I saw was on the personnel, the hire agenda. And it says assistant football co-coach. And I think there was another name, maybe Michael Smith was the other one that also said the same thing, is that correct?
Yes, I see
Now,
that.
when we say co-coach,
Yeah.
are we saying that those two will split one of the stipends?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, that's correct.
I saw Dwayne Milton play football at NIU.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to the game and he actually,
Very good.
he returned the kick.
Coached him in 8th grade.
Hmm?
Team sport.
No, he didn't score.
Okay,
But he looked good. I mean, sharp.
are there any more questions? Thank you. Dr. Troy Yarbrough.
All right, thank you. I got 2 FOIAs here. The first one submitted on March 27th of this year by Barb Forster of UB and Abraham, requesting information on a bus accident. And additional response dated April 4th of 2024 were responsive documents. And then the second one is submitted by data bid on April 9th of this year, requesting bids and amounts for the projects: high school catwalk, high school roofing, and 2024 chillers. Those are the only FOIA requests I've gotten. But I do want to say too, and I want to echo what Shelley said, as far as working really hard to figure out a way to make sure that our building administrators are supported with the substitutes. So that was great. So again, thank you both for working on that. And then 2, to our staff and our administrators for the solar eclipse and for keeping our students safe and making that not only safe but a fun experience, you know, for our kids, and the pictures and the excitement and things that we saw. I thought that was when we talk about community, that was a
Yep.
great example of community. So thank you guys. That's it for me.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the personal agenda and addendum?
Motion. Second?
No addendum, excuse me.
Ms. Hastings, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve student travel requests?
Motion.
Second? Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye.
All right, we don't have any facility requests, correct? Just want to make sure. I was positive, but I just wanted to hear. All right. Discussion on approve the committee of the whole format. Right now, I know, Rebecca, you were asking about concerns on start time.
Yes.
I know we could move it, the latest we could move it would be 5:45.
Well, I was thinking anytime between 5:30 and 6, because then most people are typically out of work about 5 and then can come in if they need to or want to.
But I'd also, I think after even looking at it, which it might need to move, but I would still like to hear from you guys. Maybe doing the committee as a whole, but moving social equity and moving that to a different time just because of the format of that one committee is a little bit different. So that would be my only one recommendation if we do. Like comments, concerns, what's your guys' thoughts?
Well, yes, Jay could go first, and then
That's true.
It's a busy meeting.
So if you moved it to 5:45 just to start the.
I could do 5.
I can do as early as 5, to be honest.
I think, yeah, I think 5:28. I was looking right at Larry.
Price is Right rules?
People remember it more, it's 5:20.
This is, yeah, starting cats, 5:30.
5:30 then.
5:30, I would,
Yes,
yeah.
5:30 is great.
So then you're at.
It does add an hour, though.
It does, but we're taking off equity at the end. So if you start at 5:30, that's probably a 15-minute introduction for the beginning of the night. And then you would start at 5:45 with Ed Committee. That goes for an hour to 6:45. That goes to policy. If there are policies, that gets an hour. It would go to 7:45.
Which we don't always have a policy committee.
And then on down, business is allotted 45 minutes, it may take an hour, but there would be no equity on the end, it would just be your ed, policy, and business services.
So we're talking about equity being
You're saying an hour?
on a different
45
day?
minutes?
Different night or.
Oh, okay.
It's always an
Didn't
hour.
want to put it in the front of the meeting, or?
We could, if you're having the discussion that you want to start at 5:30, I would say move it from 5:30, but then my recommendation would be to move social justice to another day.
That's a staff-heavy, in my opinion, a staff-heavy meeting, and so we want to obviously accommodate our staff, who are a big part of that.
Correct, so I mean,
So
right now it's a
doing it at
4:30
7:30
committee,
or 8 o'clock
I
would be
would
rough.
say we would move it and keep it at the 4:30 time that it is.
But I would argue, and I don't want to speak for the rest of our admin team, but I think with Ed Committee, or not Ed Committee, excuse me, policy, if we're doing this, the committee of the whole on a monthly basis, that's going to probably shift that format a little bit. Like, you could have like an ongoing policy process where you're evaluating less policies just every meeting or each month. And so you could maybe even shorten that time up too as another solution, so.
Where will we be conducting this?
Here, right?
Here at the moment.
Yeah, because they just, we have enough room for.
Yeah, don't we expect a lot larger attendance?
But then all right, I'm with you. If that becomes a necessity, we would move it to the high school auditorium.
I'm driving a solid 2 people to my meetings, so.
Yeah. And I wouldn't expect that, people that maybe go to Ed Committee are gonna stay the whole night either.
Yeah, that's true.
If administrators that come to Ed Committee, I don't want to speak for Mickey, but I don't think the expectation is that now you gotta stay for Josh's stuff, like, we're not gonna punish them.
They're gonna want to.
Oh, man.
Did you just say punish them?
No, I did not say punish them.
That's not.
Man, I'm catching.
I did have a question, and that kind of answers my question then. I don't remember if I got a response. If I did and I missed it, I apologize. But so I do want to make sure that we're still planning on Ed Committee having all the building representation, whatever we do with social justice and equity, we're gonna have the E-teams. I don't wanna, the goal is to up attendance, I don't wanna lose attendance. So as long as everybody's gonna still be here, that's, all right.
They will.
Okay, awesome.
So this is the one question I have is a big change. We try it, let's just not happy path, right? Like,
Yeah.
what, and I heard earlier, we're setting the calendar dates. So we do this, we go, wow, that looked great on paper, and it's just not great on practice. What does it look like if we wanted to revert to the schedule that we have now? What would it take? And what is our points for discussing? Is that us up as a board, community? Like, I'm all for trying it, I just don't wanna get locked into a bad thing that's not asking the question.
There are several districts that use this. Rockford is one of them. It's a night when all of you can attend and you're only.
I mean, you don't have to sell it on me, like, you've got my buy-in, I just need to know what the out looks like if it doesn't work. Unless you're telling me there's not.
The answer is we have to put it back on there, have a discussion.
Okay.
Right.
That's all,
That's
that's all I'm looking for.
Because, I mean, we set this, but also, we also set dates, and then we vote on changing dates and change dates. So anything can be changed through.
I would also ask, to go along with what Mr. Thompson is saying, many times we will have more than one regular board meeting during a month. And if we do that, would it be necessary to do the whole agenda with all the committees twice during the month? So we would have to have that other agenda for a regular board meeting that doesn't include the other meetings. Or we don't have 2 board meetings in a month.
You're good, do you need more information?
You're correct. On the months that we have 2 meetings, that second meeting will probably capture the things that happen during the month, like the recognitions, academic, sports, and other items that come up during the month. But your main board meeting is going to be that first meeting after the Wednesday committees.
So we would not have the recognitions during the regular meeting part of the.
No, you still would.
No, we still would, but
Yeah,
you know, like,
Yeah,
if we're
like-
bringing teams and things like that, it might be better.
But just like now, we only have a policy meeting on a month, once a month, and then we have 2
Every other.
meetings that can be in between. So at the beginning of the month, we have every one of our meetings, and then the next subsequent one will have the stuff that gets voted on. Or sometimes like policy, you have to have 2 meetings, so that meeting and then the subsequent next meeting would still be good on that month to have.
My other question would have to do with timing, because you talked about allotted times and you talked about people staying for only parts of the meetings that they are interested in.
Correct.
In order to, and I don't wanna sound, I don't know. If we don't need an hour for policy committee, then do we have to still give it an hour in order to wait for the people that are coming to education committee to get there? Or vice versa? If we only spend 10 minutes in education committee, do we have to wait? Because people might wanna come to the policy committee meeting and they know it doesn't start until 6:30. Or we're gonna have to wait and we can't
keep rolling.
expedite the whole process so that we can go home before the news comes on.
Well, I think that's.
No, I see that. That's very
In-
valid.
In my opinion, though, I mean, it's kind of come for it all, or, leave after you're done, but I mean, because just like our meeting, we gotta keep the flow. One of the things about this is to streamline it all.
We
So
could
you
just
gotta
post
keep.
this as one meeting, right? And then we
It's just
have
one meeting,
The
yeah.
layout of how,
But if you've got
rough
public,
numbers within there.
in the example, we have public comments for each one, is there anything?
Oh,
we're-
yeah, you don't need.
No, we won't.
No,
Okay.
because the public comment becomes,
I'm
public
just,
comment for the whole
I'm just
meeting.
referencing
Yeah, we're just
the
looking.
test document that I had.
The whole
Right,
meeting.
that
Yeah.
was just a sample, and those public comments are after each committee meeting. So like if somebody wants to make a public comment at the education committee, there's a time slot for that.
But that would roll into then my question, right? And to Larry's point, is that if you, say you skip ahead or you're a half hour ahead by the end of this thing, and I have a real, I mean, no one does, but let's say there's a public comment, they want to come in for one of these, they could have essentially missed it because we set a date or time.
Is it one public comment, or is it each
one for each
individual?
committee.
One for each, but then you have to worry about the time, because if my comment is for a middle one,
But if it's for one meeting, do we
The
have
public
to have
comment is a
public,
public
do we
comment.
have to have public comment for each one, considering it's still one meeting? Can't we just have public comment at the beginning for any of it?
no, you don't have to.
You don't have
So why
to,
won't
that
we do
was
that?
just a sample
Yeah.
to
Okay.
see what your thoughts were on that.
And then the other thing I would suggest is we don't put times on there, because if we are running ahead, I don't want to mislead people, and I also don't want to waste anybody's time by us sitting here for 45 minutes
Yeah,
doing
I think
this.
that's an excellent point of more like, here's our start time.
Yep.
You plan on
Right.
speaking at any of the committees, be here at the start time.
Comments at the beginning.
And then to the other points that were made throughout the conversation, if education's done and you were just solely here for education, you know,
You can
just like they do for the recognition or, you know, public comment, you know, people leave,
But yeah, if
so.
we-
Planning on front loading then, like education, any of the ones that have larger attendance
Larger
based on
attendance.
staff?
Exactly.
It would
Your
be nice.
education.
So what
We're
I'm
at
hearing
the back.
is we're gonna just have a schedule, right? But we're gonna take the times off.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take the times off, because I don't wanna mislead somebody, and I don't wanna, we gotta be cautious of time too.
And we set
Sitting
the
here for-
expectation, be here if you wanna be here.
Yeah,
And then you
and then
can
just do
leave.
one public comment at the beginning of the meeting, because, you can address anything in any of
Right.
the other committees, I think would be my suggestion.
It would be nice to have a public comment possibly for each group, only because, you know, somebody comes in and talks about policy, well, that may be, you know, the next meeting and the next meeting, by the time you get to the last meeting.
But then we're tying ourselves up
Then we-
again,
Right,
we might be
right,
sitting
no,
here,
I'm not-
we might be
right.
just sitting here for a half hour
Right.
doing nothing.
No, I don't mean that, I mean, you
No,
can
she's
still have
just
the
saying, if
comment.
you're gonna roll into
No,
another,
because then
another
at the
committee
time.
that you would open it up for public comment, you can do that. So we're gonna open up to.
Oh, remove the times and keep the line up.
That can be
Okay,
in.
well, okay, if we remove the times, then
Yeah.
we're protected.
Just keep the line item on.
If someone's really here and they want to comment, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah. If they gotta go, they can start at the front, like, they don't have to wait.
I know that Rockford, when they do that, they do a limit on the time, so like a max of 60 minutes for a committee. So there's not a time start in the way RPS does it.
Josh,
so-
can you keep it under an hour?
I mean, there might be,
You guys are
some of
slotted in
it
for
depends on the
45
conversation.
minutes.
What?
You guys are slotted in for
That
45
is
minutes.
definitely an average factoring in all of summer.
That's if Kurt doesn't ask a single
It
question.
depends on the conversations.
Or I don't.
Wire a roll of tape.
That's why the sample agenda, it gave you an idea
Yeah.
how much time we're gonna be limited to.
Well, if
But
you-
I wasn't going to post those times, just the beginning.
So how are we gonna factor that, or am I, are we gonna send out an agenda and we're gonna go cool, or we can go, hey, that's not gonna work? How does this?
I would say, like, if it goes through, I like the idea of being with the flow to not start with times, go through it a couple times.
Yeah.
See how it goes before you put some bridges on there.
Okay.
Was we can always change, but if you start with guardrails and you.
Say do that, and then obviously the earlier we can have a draft so that we can review it, and then, you know, Josh is gonna have some obvious call-outs, or any of us
Sure.
really going.
And that's where starting in July is good, because typically there's not,
Right.
Yeah, oh,
business-wise, there's not a lot of
absolutely.
policies, and over the summer, it lets us kind of feel that first one out.
As I said, if you kicked it to, it wasn't July, it was in August, and things are busy, that would be not ideal.
And you said we're proposing leaving out equity from that night then.
Right.
Yes, because I would like to keep that one, in its current format, and it starts at 4:30.
Can we
I'd
do
like
it at
to-
4:30 in the same night and just,
I'd like to circle back on that because I worry about separating that
yeah.
I
one.
know what I think too.
Do we have no, and I'm just, I worry about separating that one. Do we have a reason we can't go, how much time do we have slotted right now?
30.
Like, just looking,
For
no,
equity?
looking at the committee of the whole, is it like 2 hours, 3 hours?
About 3 hours.
3
and a
hours.
half.
Okay, so 3.5 hours. So we have the time allotted, that is about the time, don't we schedule these for like 6 to 9, or these 6 to 8? So.
We've gone till 9:30.
I think we can do
If you're
ESJ.
not gonna move it from 4:30, why wouldn't you just do it at 4:30 the same day?
Or even 5:30, you could still have.
Yeah.
But no, but I'm just saying,
Oh,
we're
you
not
mean
gonna-
like have the
If you said we're gonna
ESG
remove
committee
it, but it's gonna
enroll
start at
into-
4:30, and now we're gonna start
Okay.
at 5:30, why wouldn't you just have it at 4:30?
Yeah.
And then if you can make it, if you can get out of work, great, if not, you were going to miss that meeting,
I
as
just
I
hate coming
do
in
as
late,
well
because I wanna be,
anyways.
you know, I just hate coming in.
But if we're not gonna move it, like, then you're still gonna miss it.
I'm fine with that, I just.
You could do both, sorry Larry, go ahead.
No, I go back to the whole space, because when I look at that committee, the attendance it tends to be larger for a good reason, because the work that they do is a lot of having those conversations and planning and doing those kind of things. Where with education committee, which has a large attendance, really what happens at that committee is totally different. It's more of a reporting and reflective, kind of a mission, shall we say. So each one, and so I would hate to stifle the creativity and those conversations because you are pigeonholed into a space or a time frame as part of a larger agenda.
I would recommend, if we go through with this, then we start at the auditorium and work our way backwards to see how the meetings go.
I think if we had, and I'm just thinking out loud now, maybe having it, I would like to see the whole Social Justice and Equity Committee represented on the agenda for the committee as a whole, but maybe have that as a reporting out part of the agenda with representatives from the whole committee, rather than doing the whole committee work within that agenda. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're saying like they have their,
Still have it on a separate night.
yeah,
And
they
then
have their
report.
meeting and then you report back, basically.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, there's so many ways you could go, because I do appreciate the community engagement. I believe Ms. Carlson's trying to get with the later time. I do agree with Larry, social justice and equity is such a different animal from all the rest of them that I wouldn't want any of that to go away because we were like, you gotta stay in this 30, 40, whatever we land on time frame. It's tough. Something about splitting it from the rest of the
But
game.
you did it at 4:30 and you start at 5:30, that's still an hour.
Yeah.
But I'd still miss 45 minutes of it.
But you were gonna miss it regardless, right?
Well,
Unless you
and that's the other thing,
decide-
is one of the other things that I liked about this is that I could go to that meeting. You know what I mean? If we tack that on to the end, because right now I feel like I'm not supporting that because I wouldn't be able to get there till 5:15 and walking in late is, in my personal, it's disrespectful, walking a meeting late, you know?
Well, I would like to see it all start at 5:30.
But, so, I mean, we're in a rock and a hard place here.
But again, that we don't.
So I was excited to be able to go to that now.
Yeah, no, I understand, and that's where it gets tough. That's where it gets tough.
5:30 would be a great time, but then if we threw our ESJ in first and had all of their team, stuff, and then do the education after that, because then, of course, you've got a bunch of people that are still gonna stay here anyway for education. Because the principals and assistant principals are the ones doing ESJ, so.
Yeah, Terrell and I talked a little bit about that and just what that format would look like in this type of thing, because it is important for me to have the board be a part of that and have the access to the committee. I do think that, and I'm speaking obviously very candidly here, that for our staff, like, because it's a board committee, it takes on a different feel, but I think me personally feels like it's important that we offer that as part of this evening, because to me, what I see as the benefit of the committee as a whole is that you all have access to the conversation that occurs at all committee levels, like, to me, first and foremost. So great, obviously it's great to reduce the nights I'm home away from my girls, which I appreciate that, but the idea really in my mind is that this is about you all as board members being able to have access to all of the discussion, all of the stuff without having to come 4 different nights a month. And so I think that we can, I don't want to speak for Terrell, but we can work through that format, but I do think it's my suggestion is that this really should be, ESG should be, if it's going to be a board committee, it should be part of the committee of the whole structure, and we'll figure out a way to make it work.
What time then, 5:15, 5:30?
5:30 would be my request. Let's see.
Is that
5:13?
But are we gonna hurt if we do it at 5:30, is it gonna hurt the attendance of the staff that's normally there?
Yes, it
Because
is.
they're right, like.
Yes,
What's that?
it's going to affect staff coming.
Right.
Because they're gonna leave and have to come back.
They won't.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We did try that. We started when the
Yeah.
committee was first formed, we started at 6, and, as we were working through that, we had some attendance, but we quickly, based on the feedback of the group, we wanted to try to bump that up, and once we had board members that can make that work, we moved that up for that very reason, that, once people leave, it's hard to come back, and You know, but that's again where I think, you know, for Terrell and I
Say
talked through a
once a
little
month,
bit, like
too,
what
is there
that could look
possibility
like,
of locking in?
you know,
So
for our
I think-
staff.
Yeah, I think the 4:30, if we could have it at 4:30, it's on the same night, we don't have the separation, our staff can be there. I think we can do that. We can make it work.
Yeah.
We can make it work.
So equity would be at 4:30, and then we start our whole slew of committee meetings at 5:30, and it's posted at a 5:30 time. There aren't separate times posted for each meeting, as the sample shows. That was just to give you an idea how much time would probably take for each meeting.
I mean, let's try it as it is, and we can always make changes to, I mean,
That's the
obviously.
first question I did.
Yeah, this is gonna, this is gonna
How
evolve
do
like
we
everything
feel about
else.
what Mike said in the auditorium? Because our main
I think we
goal-
need to start at the auditorium.
Yeah, our main goal is
100%.
community engagement, and I'm hearing Larry as well saying some of these are pretty big, so I don't wanna ever not have a seat for someone, so I totally agree with the
I think-
auditorium.
Start there and work our way back if we.
Well, hopefully we don't have to work our way
Hopefully.
back, hopefully we find a bigger room, but, yeah.
Can we possibly say of space at the high school, because the auditorium is not really conducive for committees and discussions?
Yeah,
And
no,
so
totally.
like that we take some time.
We're here to hear from you guys. You guys let us know.
Yeah, wherever.
Because there's a few different places in my mind right now that I'd like to kind of figure out spacing where it has more of a feel for a committee meeting rather than somebody presenting. Just from when we had the board meetings at the high
Yeah.
school, it was just a very different feel.
Really hard
Those are
to
the
hear.
CTE stairs, are those almost done?
Well, that's one of the places I was thinking of, honestly.
What'd you say, Aaron?
The entrance to the CTE, the
Yeah,
stairs.
can we get those stairs going?
The learning stairs was one of the locations as a possibility.
that's a large-
even.
yeah, it's a
It's a
large
large space, and you could be able
Yeah, we can
to
do
work
that.
a little
We can
more
do
with
that.
people.
I'm not
Space
locked
at the
into
high
anything. I
school,
just wanna
TBD.
make
The
sure.
location doesn't have to be set.
Yeah, that sounds
Yes,
like, I
it
can
does,
find
because it
that.
has to be posted.
Is it
Big
possible?
turnout as soon as that thing's done too, because everybody's gonna wanna see it.
There we
The
go.
first couple of meetings are gonna get big if they're right there in the CTE building.
Is the high school
Just
enough?
Harlan High School.
Yeah.
Harlan High
That's
School.
enough, yes.
All right, so we're gonna say 4:30,
4:30, starting with that.
starting, no locked-in times, and it's gonna, location is the high school.
Yes, and I still think we still need to have some sort of, do we need to, so 4:30 is the start, that's social equity. Is that always gonna be an hour? Because if not, that becomes problematic to those that, I guess, I mean, maybe not. Maybe we just make it work, yeah.
The only thing I would suggest with that is comments from the community. Can we do those? If,
We'll put the line item on them,
well,
right?
that's
You
what I'm
missed
saying.
the
Put
first one, you hit the second one.
Well, put the line item after equity. So, you know what I mean? Like put it,
But you can do it with each one.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As you're rolling in, it doesn't have to be a time you roll in. We're gonna be
Okay.
starting business services, take comments from the community.
Okay.
Let's do some learning, let's see how this works.
Larry had a great idea, and I wanna like,
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
hope
Let's
you
go
don't
on an
mind,
adventure.
but he brought up the middle school library.
Could be a possibility.
I'm just, I thought it was a great idea, so I just wanna like throw it out there. It's got the table set up for it, it's got the space set up for it. You know, we're gonna be super psyched on our middle school transition, like, yeah. Food for thought. I don't mean to like throw the whole like curveball into it, but Larry brought it up, and I'm remembering the transition nights and the available space we had. There was a lot of parents at my particular transition night. I don't know how the rest of them went, but there was a lot of table space, so.
Yes, we just have to post it, and then we can change it.
Okay.
We'll keep that under advisement. I'll have to
Okay.
go look at it,
Okay,
stare at it.
yep, that's
Make
fine.
sure it works. All right, with that, all that, do you guys,
I mean, we gotta pull the Band-Aid off. Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
My only question is, so if we start ESJ at 4:30.
Yes.
Now, are we gonna just keep rolling, and then if,
Yeah,
obviously,
we're just gonna keep rolling.
so those of us who, you know, either cannot be here at 4:30, like possibly you, then do we have a start time at 5:30?
You could just do two
scooting
postings, one
in?
of ESJ and the other one at 5:30.
Yes, and that's kind of what I
And
was
then
thinking,
keep
start
it-
everything else at 5:30, because then they could still have their full hour.
This
but it-
meeting will be posted separately, even though it'll be on the same night. So, but then I'll start the main committee of the whole at 5:30.
Okay.
I'm envisioning starting at 4:30 and we'd be done by 6, so we'd actually be done before we even started.
There you go.
Like the way you think?
We're talking in cursive right now.
Can
So, you know what changes.
Yes, can I make a consent, no, not consensus, I need a first and second
Talking
on
in cursive.
the committee and the whole with changes for meeting dates beginning the month of July 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye.
Thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
Motion and a second to approve resolution declaring surplus property.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
All right. Motion and a second to approve acceptance of February 2024 treasurer's report.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
A motion and a second to approve recommendation to award bakery bid to Alpha Baking Company for the 2024-2025 school year at the estimated cost of $43,250.91.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye. Sorry, she lost her spot on there. I'm like,
Sorry.
Round the bread.
we ever, yeah.
Motion and a second to approve recommendation to award milk bid for the 2024-2025 school year to Prairie Farms at an estimated cost of $220,039.30.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Approve the renewal of a bus washing agreement with Jared's Power Washing for FY25 school year at a cost of $20 per vehicle.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the HHS re-roofing project bid to McDermott Roofing in the amount of $239,777?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye.
Can I get a motion to award a HHS carpet replacement bid to Benchmark Flooring, Inc. in the amount of $102,295?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Sorry.
Ms. Hastings? Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve an agreement with Permar to update the monitoring system at high school for a total cost of $33,444.06, paid with Title IX funds?
Motion.
Second.
Mr.
That's a lot of
Thompson?
sequential
No,
numbers.
it's not
Aye.
Title IX, it's Title IV.
Title IV, sorry. I was still staring at the threes and the fours.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing, Mike.
It's throwing me off.
Hopefully there's 3 threes and 4 fours.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Can I approve a motion for an agreement with Midwest Events for rental exhibitor booths for the career fair at Harlem High School, April 23rd, 2024, for a total cost of $3,741.60 paid with Title IV funds, with $650 paid with local funds at a total cost of $4,391.60.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve payment to students for internships?
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Carlson?
No.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve restructured job description for help desk support technician?
Motion.
Second. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve a contract renewal with Brex Database Solutions, Inc. for Embrace IEP and 504 platforms with a website access of $17,963.60 with the FY25 school year funded by the Idea Flow through Part B grant?
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
One second, I'm about to read some
No sequential numbers coming up here.
Yeah, all right. Can I get a motion and a second to approve a contract renewal with Northwestern Illinois Association for needs assessment for a cost of $592,518 for the FY '25 school year, funded by the IDEA Flow Through Part B grant?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the independent contractor agreement with Speech Horizons, Inc. to provide private and parochial speech and language services for $100 per hour for 37 weeks at 24 hours per week for the FY '25 school year at a total cost of $88,800, funded by the IDEA Flow Through Part B grant, pre-K IDEA grant?
Motion.
Second.
How does it always work that it's so?
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve a contract renewal with Sunbelt Staffing, Voco Vision for 2 school psychologist services for 37.5 hours per week, 38 weeks, at a total cost of $306,930.75 for the FY '25 school year, funded with the IDEA Flow Through Part B grant?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Can I get a motion and a second to approve agreement with Fastbridge Illuminate Education for 1 year subscription cost of $8,736, funded by the IDEA Flow Through Part B grant?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight, sorry.
Yes.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Can we get a motion and a second to approve a resolution authorizing Attorney Amy Silvestri to intervene in property tax appeal number 2023-03935 for property index number 082937800 for the years of 2023?
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Can I get a first and a second to approve reduction of full-time substitutes from 2024-2025 from 26 to 11?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
So can I wait to keep?
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
All right. Annual action items, approve the establishment of the current board policies as of 2024-2025. Board policies until said policies are changed by the board.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Hastings, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Chris, is this a one vote for all of them, or is it?
Well, okay, we can vote once for all of them if you're in agreement with all, except for the committee chairs and co-chairs, you're going to appoint those formally tonight. So you need to name those.
Okay.
So if you want to appoint everything but 15C, if you're in agreement with this regular annual appointments, you can just do
And if we
everything.
don't, Mike has to say every last one of these?
Right.
Okay. No reason, I just wanted to just
Yeah.
really slowly call that out.
I think we need that done.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at it and just make sure.
So if anybody wants to say no to something,
Yes.
we have to read through
Hold it
all.
out.
Correct.
Or just pull that one out?
Just
You can
pull that
you
one
can pull that
out.
one out, whatever one you want.
Could we pull out 15B? And then I had a question in regards to, oh, man, I already got my glasses off and I still.
Can we discuss 15B?
We're gonna discuss 15B. Could've been.
15L, could we also pull that one out? And that's all.
All right, so 15D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, 15M, N, O, P, Q. What?
Can I pull out 15D, please?
15D?
15D.
15D.
As in
Are
dog?
those yes, are those the times for the board and committee meetings, or is that just for the
Which we just-
COTW?
No, that's for the board meetings that we just talked about and we approved.
Okay, okay. I
It's
wanna
just
make
a
sure.
So
formality.
you're leaving it in or you pulling it out?
I'm leaving it in, that's fine.
Okay.
Sorry, I wanna make sure. Got the right thing.
All right. So I'm gonna do this one more time.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. You can do that
Either write
every
it on the
time.
board.
So
It's like,
15 D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, 15 M, 15 N, 15 O, 15 P, 15 Q, 15 R, 15 S, 15 T, 15 U, 15 V.
Motion.
Can I get a motion on a second?
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Okay, who was the second?
I'm like,
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
aye.
Ms. Carlson?
aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings, aye.
1 second, I gotta cross these off so I don't go.
Do I
Yeah.
just start at the top if I go all the way through? Okay.
Okay. 15B.
15B, we don't have to have Robert's Rules of Order. How many people in this room have read the whole book, Robert's Rules of Order? So that's a no. No. We do not have to have that. All I believe it says is we have to adapt some kind of a structure for the meeting, and Robert's Rules of Order is suggested. I think to commit myself to follow a bunch of rules that I really am not sure what they all are is kind of goofy in a professional way.
I get it, but it still gives us some structure, of some semblance of structure,
What's
which
it-
which we're following anyway, so I mean, I'm just asking, would it,
I go,
go ahead.
what else would we adopt? Is there?
Because you're gonna have to name
There's
something.
really nothing else. We have to put something in
Can
there.
we say, I think it would be easy to articulate the pattern that we follow. So to say that we will follow the district's rules for conduct during a board meeting, or something like that, and just kind of write down. Otherwise, you're committing yourself, you're wanting me to say yes to adopting Robert's Rules of Order, and I mean, when I first was elected, I said, man, I better read that. I started reading that, I wasn't gonna read that whole book, and it's crazy anyway, because 95% of it, you're not gonna.
You don't use. But we still need to have it named as a
Okay,
structure.
that's fine, I'm just saying what I wanted to say.
No, I got you,
And
but
then you
Is
say
there a
what
Cliff
you
Notes
wanna
version that
say.
we can adapt?
Probably, if you
Robert's
really
Rules for
read
Dummies.
Robert's Rules of Order,
The Google
you would
summary.
find that Larry D. Smith is out of order 95% of the time, up to and including the way that he dresses.
Oh,
Well, I don't think that's in
I don't
Rob's
think there's
rules.
anything
I did
about
not read that
dressing.
page.
There was the paragraph, no orange shoes, clearly.
yeah.
and then we're all out.
Well, then you're all out of order.
All right. All right, with that,
Okay. Motion to approve.
motion to approve Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised 12th edition, and procedural guide pursuant to Board Policy 2220.
Motion.
I'm gonna second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
No.
Ms. Hastings? Aye.
I understand it, I do.
Yeah,
I get
I
it.
that's
just,
a really good point,
We
Larry.
could find something else and change it.
but we have to start with something. All right, so the board committee chairs, I was thinking of moving some people around, but now I'm with us doing the committee of the whole, I don't know.
Helpful.
Well, that third kind of threw me off because I didn't know where we were gonna go with it today. Because I was thinking about Larry and leading the policy. Would that be something you'd be interested in doing?
Yeah, I'm interested in all kinds of things, man.
All right. Larry's gonna be head policy. We're moving Megan Hastings and Rebecca, you're gonna be on education. And we'll leave you two back on business services where you guys have done some good work.
I'll be,
And I will be on policy with Larry.
So Megan
Evelyn's
and I
gonna
are
be in-
cheering, co-cheering, she's cheering, I'm co-cheering, which?
Be
Co-chairs.
co-chairs,
Oh, okay.
leading.
So we have Larry and Mike as policy. We have
Meeting or light item?
Hastings and Carlson as education.
Yep.
McKnight and Thompson as business, and Meeks as equity.
Yep.
There is no co-chair for equity at this point. If somebody wanted to have two committees, they could.
Anybody want a second committee? Okay. With that.
It's all in the hole.
Be there, yeah.
Yeah, with that, can I get a motion to approve board
Motion.
committee chairs and second?
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. All right, with that, Larry. 15
Yes.
mil.
Oh, the question that I had was, who was the Fair Labor Standards Act officer previously?
It's always been HR, right?
As far as I know, it's always been HR.
Pardon me?
It's always been HR.
So last year, Shelley,
I was. I
you
have
were?
been. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's policy 5:35.
Pardon me?
5:35. If you're interested in that policy, it's 5:35,
Oh,
where it talks about the compliance
Wow.
with.
Sold.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna look it up though.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's-
that's more information than I really was looking for. That's very nice, thank you.
But
for
I mean,
that.
if you wanna know anything about it, like, it's 5:35, if you're interested.
I think you need that name tag, more information than
Yeah.
anyone really
I
wants.
know.
I mean, I think it's pretty interesting.
With that,
Yeah, yeah.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, then
I'm getting you a shirt, 5:35.
Oh, I got all kinds of them.
Pretty impressive.
I think I'm gonna get a shirt made, just.
5:35?
Yep, just so I know.
can I get a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Ms. Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
And with that, we go to announcements and discussion. Is there anything for anybody at this moment?
No.
Can I get a motion and a second to go into executive session for employment of personnel, 5 ILCS 120-2C1, and negotiations, 5 ILCS 120-2C2?
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Take a recess.
Yes, got 7 minutes.